Hello and welcome to Medical Dialogues Presents Health Perspective. I'm Dr. Rohan Krishnan, and today we are going to talk about a very delicate and a very important topic for the resident doctors, that is maternity leave during the residency period, during the period of senior residency, during the period of PG residency. What are the rules and what is to be done? For this, we have an conglomeration of the panelists, in which I have with me Dr. Ikra Khan, who has been serving in various medical colleges and who has herself fought for this maternity leave. Also, we will be having Dr. Kul Saurav Kaushik, who is the former secretary of the Forum of Resident Doctors Association, FORDA New Delhi. He is a medical activist presently working in Gurgaon, and he also is a constant fighter for this cause and is still fighting in various legal and other battles for the leaves of maternity and the maternity leaves issue. And also, we will be joining by Dr. Jyoti Yadav, who is the chairman of the Indian Medical Association Women Doctors Wing. I welcome all the panelists and let us have a nice discussion regarding this. I would like to come directly to Dr. Ikra Khan first, and I want to understand that what was the issue when you wanted maternal leave. What are the rules that are there, and what are the problems that you had to suffer?
Um, Hello, sir. What happened was that like I had to fight a lot for my maternity leave, and at like now that we're talking about it, and whatever I'm able to recall, I'll be sharing with everybody because my maternity leave started when my post graduation was just over, and the extended post graduation period for a particular batch was asked by the NMC, that because the coming batch would was not like coming postgraduate batch was not coming, and the NMC had said that we'll extend the PG period for this, for our batch, like the batch I was in. So when I went for my to avail my maternity leave, so I had gone to my HOD, I had gone to the administration of the hospital I was working at that time. So they said that no, postgraduate students can do not have any maternity leave, and if you want to go for a few days you can, but then it will be according to the number of leaves you have left. And we don't think that PG students can avail maternity leave. So at that time I was also like, I also had no idea about what the rule is and how to go about it. So I went ahead, I read online. So there were like some articles saying that no, post PG students do not have any mat leave, only SRs can apply, and then maybe non-acad JRs can apply. So I was like in a dilemma. Every day I would go to the admin department, I would request them to give me any rule book they have stating that no, that PGs to postgraduate student cannot get a mat leave. So eventually I went ahead and I contacted a friend of mine who's a lawyer. So she told me that so there's this maternity benefit act, which was with in which amendment was done in 2017, stating that all females, all employees are supposed to get mat leave for maternity leave for 6 months, and you can avail it after 20 weeks period of gestation, once 28 weeks are done. So I gave that document to my admin, and they were still reluctant to give me mat leave. On top of that, the second COVID wave was like going on, and I myself in my last ninth month, I contracted COVID. I also started having preterm labor pains immediately after I got COVID. I informed my consultants, to the admin, everyone, the dean, that I gave a written letter also, that from the obstetrician, that I'm having preterm labor pains and let me go on mat leave. Still they refused, but eventually I had to stop coming to the hospital. I gave a letter for maternity leave and I stopped coming. Still then also my mat leave was not given to me. The day I delivered my baby, who was delivered like at a period of 34 weeks. So I did have a preterm delivery. At the next day, my mat leave was approved. And that's when I was told that, yes, you can get maternity leave. Before, like during this 4 weeks of period where I was constantly requesting everybody, from my consultants to the MS to the dean, everywhere I gave a letter. So every place I went, they said, we don't know the rule. If there is, you come, you show it to us. So then I asked other residents in maybe my friends who were in other medical colleges, or all over India. A friend of mine who was in Silchar, there's this friend of mine who was in Udaipur. They all said that some SRs do get mat leave, but they've not seen any PG student getting a mat leave. So I did get a mat leave, but I had to fight a lot. I had to show a lot of legal papers, legal notices to the admin before they agreed to, give me this maternity leave. And that too, they like once they gave that mat leave to me, immediately after 3 months, they said you have to join back, and they kept messaging me. They refused to give anything in written to me. So a lot of issues had come, and if like the end point was that there is no single rule, no universal rule for all PG students. And whatever rules are there, so they always mentions either senior resident or junior resident, and then they just leave out the postgraduate out of it. So that's where the gray area comes in, because we aren't included anywhere as PG students, like PG resident female residents. They like that, that group of students aren't included in any rule book. So then we, like when I was there, or anyone like me, would not have any particular document to quote, or to say that yes, like under this I can take a maternity leave peacefully without requesting people. It's my right to get a maternity leave, and I don't have to request it from you.
Exactly. I think, first of all, that junior resident is equivalent to PG resident.
Yeah, yeah, that's
There
what.
are two types of junior resident. One is academic and one is non-academic. But obviously, when exact word is not quoted, then many institute creates nuisance that no, your name is not there post graduation. There is no rule. But I think that this is just some malpractice that the seniors are doing. I have with me Dr. Kulswarab Kaushik, who has been a constant fighter. I have seen him raising this issue, and he has always been one of the most vocalist doctor. Whenever it is required, he has always spoken for the welfare of the resident doctors, for the welfare of general doctors, for all the doctors in general and resident doctors in particular. I want to know from you, sir, that what is there? Is there any law which is already present regarding this? That this is the law, or what exactly should the postgraduate student should know if they want to avail maternity leave? What exactly the senior resident should know if they are going to avail maternity leave?
Hello, Rohan. Hello, Dr. Ikra. First of all, thanks for me having me here. And I would apologize for not having my video on. I hope that's okay.
That's completely fine, sir.
Okay, so talking about the topic, I have been, not me exactly, we have been fighting as an organization or as a team for this Maternity Benefit Act for the resident doctors, for the junior resident doctors. So till now, unfortunately, we have not won it. There's many multiple hindrances into this actually. If we go date back to 2017, the amendment came. It just says a very broad spectrum definition can who can avail it. So the eligibility to avail this act or the benefit that has been provided by the government is that a person should be an employee to the organization for at least 6 months. It is mentioned in the weeks. probably it is 26 week or 28 weeks. I do not remember it the right actual number of weeks. It mentions into the weeks. Now the issue comes for junior resident doctors. It is nowhere mentioned in the any of the charter that resident doctors uh, can be considered as employed to an organization because they are on contract. So main jo issue where we get stuck is where we are not able to prove the point is that the resident doctors they do not get considered as the permanent employees to any organization. But the loopholes remain that the maternity benefit act, they can, any organization cannot even deny maternity benefit act to the people who are on the contractual jobs पे जो लोग होते हैं, they cannot deny even to them. So resident doctors serving the particular institutes, they are on some kind of contract for 3 years if we take it in a very layman language. So they are into some kind of tenure duration is 3 years. So considering it in a way that okay, resident doctors, it is because it is not mentioned that yes, they are not the employees, but you cannot take off the right of the any female who is a doctor and wants to have a child during her best of the reproductive ages. You cannot deny her the benefit provided by the central government. Now comes why resident doctors are not considered as employee. This is also a very big loophole into the system. Residency scheme doesn't mention them as employees, but different state have their own rules and regulations to like get any kind of, they come into the tax wraps, they pay the taxes. So nobody even says that they are not the employees because since they are paying the taxes, they are getting the allowances, they are getting the pay in the that model of basic pay allowances. So nowhere it is even mentioned that they are not the employees. Now coming it to the fight that we have been doing it, we first of all raise this point for the DNB candidates to be very particular. क्योंकि DNB residents were facing it a lot of issues because they were employed in the corporate sectors. So we mentioned it in the DNB. So DNB came with some kind of amendment in 2019 where it says that you can avail the maternity benefit for 6 months. Previously, it was for 3 months. Before 2019, it was for 3 months. Once it was extended for 6 months, so the people were facing with the issues that now it has been mentioned the 6 months, we should be given 6 months. But DNB outplayed the normal regulation. What they said is you can avail for the 6 months, but you have to complete your tenure, which is fine. Okay, you have to complete your training, which is accepted. Okay, take it taken that training cannot be compromised. But they mentioned it very clearly that stipend will be paid in one of the tenure. Like either you get paid during the maternity when you once you're availing the maternity benefit for those 6 months, or for the extension period. So my question to every authority was, where is the benefit now? You have extended the tenure, you are not
एग्जैक्टली, फिर
paying it.
आपने किया क्या? हाँ.
हाँ, फिर we basically went to the Ministry of Women and Child, from where we got a very positive note that they transferred it to the definite department, that is the medical education, where they transferred it to the national board and NMC. Okay, so वहां से we got same reply that the training period cannot be compromised, and because your residency scheme doesn't mention you as employees, so there is a question mark. It is for the employees, and we cannot compromise your training period. Then we put it up across the National Women Commission and National Human Rights. National Human Rights took it very seriously. We were very positive about it. Ki we'll get it like sorted out. National Human Rights, there were 2 to 3 proceedings for it, but unfortunately, again, because authorities they are into the same channels dealing with each other, they like played with the words, and in fact, they allegate us that we are like misreading the commission. Maternity, nobody has denied for the maternity benefit to anybody. It is very much valid that the female can easily get maternity benefit. But again, they mentioned 2 points. Training cannot be compromised. Point number one. Point number two, they quoting their own regulations in which they have quoted ki how it will be granted regarding the salary. They said ki it will be paid in one of it. We are still onto it. ऐसा नहीं है that we have given up onto this. We are still onto it. And in fact, one of the case is also pending in the Delhi High Court. Few of the like few of the candidates have put up a case with some DNB organization. So now the point comes ki how can we fight it? Means there has been a lot of things going around. People have been trying it. In fact, along with me, there were some NGOs who got into it to get across that we get it through. But unfortunately, we could not succeed. But yes, at few of the points, at few, I know few of the, like Dr. Ikra said, ki after fighting a lot, she could get it. I know few of the females because while I was doing it, I read a lot of cases and literatures. A few of the females have fought cases, and I have regulations and I have like decisions of those cases, which says that the state government institutes cannot deny maternity benefit. And at the same time वहां पे उन लोगों ने अपना जो ड्यूरेशन ऑफ बेनिफिट एक्ट में जो स्टाइपेंड है वो भी दोनों बार दिया है with the notification of judiciary. मतलब this has happened at state levels. What I feel is we need to quote down all the cases, like the way I put it across in the National Human Rights Commission. I set it with one of my advocate friend. I jotted down all the court cases which have been fought, and I like notified them sequentially 1, 2, 3, 4. The epic court case was Ankita Vaidya case. I have been mentioning it at different points. She was pursuing her super specialty, if I am not wrong, at AIMS. She was not allowed to appear for the exam. She fought it for to appear in the exam. So उस केस का जो एक decision है, that is very positive, that can be actually brought upon and that can be like reflected at different points. And probably soon in sooner times we'll be able to get it done.
क्या डिसीजन है बॉस उस केस का?
उसका डिसीजन ये है, उसका डिसीजन क्या था कि she fought for, she was not allowed to appear in the exam. What I could understand from the court case was that she had no issue in giving the extension. She even did not have an issue कि आप stipend दो मत दो. She, जितना मैं उस court case से समझ पाया, I did not had any kind of personal interaction with her. But once she was not allowed to appear in the exam, so she appeared in the court. And in that court, after like 2-3 discussions, the decision was made कि आप जो है, you cannot inhibit anybody from pursuing education, future education. Point number one. Point number two, that if somebody is trying to like if somebody is availing the maternity benefit, then you cannot even ask somebody to not avail it at the time when she needs it the most. This is against the promotion of womanhood. And another thing which was very positive into that case, she was even paid. It was a mention that she should be even paid in the next extension period. So basically, she won at all 3 points. But that could not be like generalized for everybody. That has to be generalized via commission. मतलब अपना जो national medical commission है, या तो वहां से generalized हो, या residency scheme में there comes some amendment. We even tried to have a discussion with the residency scheme that there should be an amendment, and resident, if they are paying taxes, they should be given every right which an employee gets. Like Rohan, you also have been fighting for the resident doctors. Like in central government, we pay the taxes. Or I may be going out of the topic, but we pay the taxes, but we do not get any health benefits. So
Exactly.
there has to be a change in the scheme altogether. Otherwise, we get stuck once we start fighting. They come up with the papers, and at any point of time, the authorities stand stronger on the terms of papers. Definitely in judiciary, ethics and emotions, they do work. But once we talk with the policy standards, they talk on the papers and they know how to like interpret those papers. Okay, like the
Right.
way I countered them in the way ki you are saying ki there's a training deficit because of maternity benefit. So I countered them with some regulations जिसमें it is clearly stated that maternity benefit act and child care leave, they won't be a hindrance in the promotions. Okay, so I quoted it. Child care leave is for 2 years. If that is not creating any kind of hindrance in the promotion is also academic activity based. You have to do such kind of activities. If that is not creating any kind of hindrance in the promotions, that means आपका उस time का experience is not creating any deficit. So why this 6 months is creating such a huge deficit? But what I found is कि they modulate the interpretations as per their own uh, comfort zone. So it has to be it. What another thing what I felt is ki Dr. Ikra, you definitely you have been like I read your article in the this medical dialogue itself. What I felt that once a woman goes through that pain, most of the women they I don't know, I may be using the wrong word, but they do not continue their fight. They give up on
True.
their fight. Ki okay, it was my bad time. Authorities did not listen to me. Like you are doing it, you are raising it even after you have gone through that bad patch. What I felt while I was doing it, people who went through that bad phase, they were in a very happy phase. Ki now it has gone. So they gave up on their fight. Like abhi the way it is pending in high court, the court case is pending in high court. As per my information, nobody is even working for that court that uski hearing next ho. शायद if I am not wrong 1.5 साल से उस कोर्ट की hearing नहीं हुई है, and this is one of the burning issue. It should be heard on the weekly basis or at least monthly basis, है ना? So because जिन शायद if I may be wrong into this because I'm not the part of case, but my interpretation to that point is because जिन्होंने केस किया था maybe they have passed through that bad phase, है ना? So एक
Bilkul.
follow up,
Bilkul.
the loss of follow up has happened, and now that case is pending. So I what I feel is that this is a sustain, this really needs a sustained effort from everybody, like everybody, every organization, the victims. I have the word too, matlab, if I'm not wrong in using the word victim, because I think this is something that cannot be denied on any point. Many of the journalists at that time of while I was fighting, many people came across and asked me, do you have any personal gains? भाभी जी को है क्या? भाभी जी is trying to, but this is not about any personal gain. This is something that this is something, if you're denying this right, I think there's a sequential deterioration in women health that we are doing. Most of the women, they do not इतना important जो child bearing age होता है उसमें they do not like, they do not even go for the, they think that okay, let's complete the residency and then go for it. And completion of residency means 30 years. On an average,
Minimum.
female completes the residency at 30 years. All across the nation we are saying okay, no, 30 years से ज्यादा नहीं हमें, first child should be before 30 year, medical science says this. And you take an average, medicos, they are bearing child age, first child age bearing age is above 30 years. So I too am making efforts at my level and will sustain to make it. Rohan, you have raised a very valid point, and maybe we can work together into all this. And
Definitely.
I have a lot of data into this, and maybe जो पिछले 1.5 साल का और नया data होगा, we can all get together and put it again. I tried to do it. I'm telling you, 6 months back, I tried to do it again at National Health Commission, National Human Rights. I wanted it to raise it again. But then I got an opinion ki better is to do it at the health ministry level. That will be an easier step. Because people at health ministry, they'll understand it somewhat better. Because while I was going through it, I found only resident doctors are one who are denied of it. Matlab you won't find across all the list of employments, even the like we I go went through it. The civil services उनके training period में if they happen to have uh, a child, they are given maternity benefits. Like you आप किसी का भी training period उठा के देखो, they are not denied because there is a big but into this, because maximum training periods are considered as employment. There is no training period I could find which is not under the statement of employment. So what I feel that the best solution to this is amendment in the
Residency scheme.
maybe yeah, that is the easiest thing that we can push upon. Another approach to this is raising it continuously at Ministry of Child and Women Welfare. वहां पे ethically आप इसको raise करते रहें कि women are are being denied something which they should not be, उसको put up. Third is we just gather a good number and put a court case at Supreme Court, क्योंकि this is something not that has to be fought at high court level. This is something affecting whole of the nation.
I
So
completely agree.
I tend to do it. I will do it whatever till the time I succeed, and maybe Rohan, we can definitely work upon it.
Definitely, we can work on it together. From my point of view, I think that three things are very clear. One is that if this maternity leaves is firstly, there is a lack of awareness. People don't know that what are the benefits, how to do it, how to approach. Because I remember when I was also in ESI, when ICRA approached me, I had no idea about it, and when I looked upon it, I was not aware that I knew that 6 months should be given to her. That is the general rule. But where it is written, how to get this, and each and every time you cannot go to court for something like this. So one thing is pretty clear that we need to have a discussion with the ministry, with the officials of minister, and make sure that in the residency scheme it is being put that in case someone is getting pregnant during their postgraduate residency, be it DNB, be it MDMS or diploma, they should be given maternity benefits of 6 months at least. And that 6 months benefit is only when, as Dr. Kulswara told, that it is only when you are being paid in that period. If you are not being paid, then what is the benefit part of it? Even if I don't, if I take admission in a PG course and I don't go there and I join after joining, I leave there for 1 month, and 1 month later I will get extension. For that 1 month I will not get salary. So it is a general process if I am not getting salary for that 1 month. So obviously these 6 months benefits is only when they are being paid for it. That should be very clear in our stand. Thirdly, that there's so many court cases at different areas is not going to help us. I think that we'll collaborate and we'll see what we can do. We can just have a case in the Supreme Court. If we get good numbers of it, we can file a case in Supreme Court, and we should we should try to get it implemented properly, because there are a lot of postgraduate students who are facing this प्रॉब्लम एंड डीएनबी में तो और बुरा हाल हो जाता है, क्योंकि सिंस इट इज अ प्राइवेट सेक्टर, private hospitals, they start all kinds of bullying, passing rate is already low, residents are already scared, so it becomes another headache for them, for DNB candidates. So if it could be put up by the ministry, if it is written down either by the National Medical Commission in its some of the constitution or in some of the clause, then it becomes easier for the residents, and then only it could be put on ground reality. Otherwise, I know personally that Dr. Ikra had to suffer a lot for her maternity benefits. And I think that one of the very important point that you have highlighted, that after getting over with the period, people tend to forget, people forget the misery very easily. So that is something which has to be thought upon. We should work together, and we should make sure that we get the right thing done. And yeah, I really congratulate Dr. Ikra for working this hard and still speaking about her, and talking about this openly. And I hope that we can still work and make sure that we bring back a law, we bring something which is very crucial for
Sir,
the
if I may
maternity.
add something, so if I may,
Yes, yes.
actually the I had faced problems at many level, but the first problem I faced was that I was denied maternity at the first point of contact I had gone to, which was my own department, and they were all doctors. They were aware that I'm supposed to get 26 weeks of paid leave, and they I was outrightly said that no, there's पीजी में तो नहीं मिलता है बिकॉज आपको काम करना है पीजी में मैट लीव तो हमने कभी नहीं सुनी दिस वाज क्लियरली टोल्ड टू मी तो एक तो हमारे लाइक अवेयरनेस अमंगस्ट लाइक in the
The
hospitals
healthcare
the
workers
first
also,
the
कि
first
हमारे
point of
सीनियर्स भी
contact
हमारा साथ नहीं
हाँ
देते.
क्लियरेंस तो वही देंगे हमारा पेपर वर्क आगे वही बढ़ाते हैं जब वहीं पे रोक देंगे कि नहीं हमें नहीं पता तो हम साइन कैसे करेंगे हाउ विल वी फॉरवर्ड दिस so despite knowing that yes it's a universal right being from a pediatrics department where we are always endorsing कि नहीं आपको 6 months breastfeeding करना है सारे mothers को sign करके देते हैं कि breastfeeding 6 months आप करा सकते हो because working mothers को तो 6 months mat leave मिलती है same in the same setting I was denied saying that पीजी में नहीं मिलता है तो एक तो वहां पे अवेयरनेस नहीं है कि यस मिलना चाहिए फिर सेकंड है कि अभी वो एनएमसी का एक नोटिस आया है सेइंग दैट वील पे यू फॉर द एक्सटेंशन पीरियड इफ यू आर नॉट बीइंग पेड फॉर द 6 months तो 6 months का खर्चा who will give that to that mother she is pregnant she needs all kinds of care she needs to get multiple ultrasounds done she is a doctor herself तो आप उससे एक्सपेक्ट थोड़ी ना करोगे कि वो 3-3 महीने में एक अल्ट्रासाउंड कराएगी she'll try to get best for herself and her child she needs that maternity cover and maternity benefit का मतलब ये थोड़ी ना है कि मतलब आपकी मर्जी है तो आप दोगे maternity benefit का मतलब ये है कि अगर if a woman is employed anywhere she's providing you services any kind of services doctor or whatever you need to cover her maternity expenses despite the duration she has worked for you like for me what happened I had worked for 3 years फिर मुझे बोला गया कि आप 2 साल आपको आके वापस काम करना है बट ये 6 महीना हम कवर नहीं करेंगे सो आई टोल्ड देम कि आप मेरे से 5 years की सर्विस ले रहे हो पूरा टोटल मतलब मेरी एम्प्लॉयमेंट 5 years की है बट 6 महीना आपको मुझे कवर नहीं देना क्योंकि मैं प्रेग्नेंट हो गई और आपको सर्विसेज नहीं प्रोवाइड कर पा रही सो मतलब व्हाट डू यू मीन दिस इज अनपेड लेबर मतलब मुझे तो क्लियरली बोला गया था कि आप मत लो लिए आप घर पे बैठ जाओ डोंट पे आई नो विल नॉट पे यू आई मतलब एवरी डे टू मैसेज एवरी पर्सन एवरी नंबर आई हैड तो बात तो वही हो गई और प्रेगनेंसी में कौन कोर्ट जाएगा आप हस्बैंड को भेजोगे वो भी वर्किंग है प्रेग्नेंट लेडी है बच्चा पैदा 6 months हो गए you have to take care of the child उसके बाद भी you have to take like you have to continue the care no of the baby you can't go to court run here and there and they expect you कि आप जाओ कोर्ट केस कर लो वो एटीट्यूड द एंटायर एटीट्यूड फॉर रेजिडेंट डॉक्टर्स जस्ट बिकॉज वो रेजिडेंट डॉक्टर्स है तो मतलब यू हैव टू फाइट फॉर इट द मेन इशू इज ऑल्सो दैट सीनियर रेजिडेंट को तो मिल भी जाता है सर लाइक in our setup only I was told that SRs को मिलता है because all the senior residents in my department were easy like they were getting their maternity leave they were writing this letter and वो forward हो रहा था but the moment it came to me like being a PG resident and there was another resident with me in another department she had applied and it was so difficult for us to get it approved get it signed from our own departments तो वो तो अपने में ही नहीं है फिर ऊपर admin तो obviously they will not get it approved once, जब तक उन तक जाएगा नहीं. तो एक तो सर this needs to be done, that our own like हॉस्पिटल्स में अप्रूवल अपने डिपार्टमेंट से मिले तभी एडमिन देगा. प्लस रूल भी आ रहा है कि ठीक है, यू डोंट पे देम. सो द एंटायर gist of getting a maternity benefit, that my employer takes the responsibility of me and my baby at that difficult time, or that precious time, you know. तो वो तो मतलब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कोई लेना ही नहीं चाहता ना, कि आप देखो अपना, यू नो, वी विल, आप जितना काम करोगे उतने पैसे मिलेंगे. 3.5 years है, 3 साल काम किया, उसका पैसा, बाकी 6 months, यू नो, इट्स नॉट आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. तो दैट वो मैटरनिटी बेनिफिट का मतलब, एक्ट का मतलब ही नहीं है. तो अब इन शॉर्ट यू जस्ट लाइक डिनाइंग द एंटायर, जो आपको एक राइट गवर्नमेंट देना चाह रही है, आप अपने पर्सनल लेवल, मतलब पर्सनल के इंस्टीट्यूशनल लेवल पे यू डिनाइंग, और स्टेट लेवल पे आप डिनाई कर रहे हो. सो दैट इज जस्ट लाइक bonded labor, like it's just violating right at, like, you know, primary level to a female, to a resident doctor, because PG में तो एकदम साफ मना कर देते हैं कि नहीं होता है ऐसा, there's nothing like that. So that
नहीं,
needs to
बिल्कुल
be done.
इस पर we will work, and I will work with Kulsaurav boss also, and I'll make sure कि whatever I can do from my front also, and I'll talk this to the in charge of the central residency scheme as well as DGHS, and we'll try to approach minister as well for this point, because it is a very important point, and such questions are lame which is being pointed कि आपको क्या फायदा हो रहा है. ऑब्वियसली हर कोई शादी करता है, हर किसी के बच्चे होते हैं, तो सबको फायदा हो रहा है. ये फायदा नुकसान का कोई मतलब नहीं है इन बातों में. It is something that everybody is doing. It is not just the doctors, not just the PG students, not just the senior resident, but everyone in this country are getting this benefit, and for whatever job they are doing, for whatever salary they are being paid, they are being given 6 months of perks. That is something which is scientifically proven, approved by various agencies which are international, including the World Health Organization. So we have to look into it into a greater perspective, and not just that she's a PG student, she has to suffer. PG period should not be equivalent to suffering period. We should focus on that. So we'll definitely work on it. I thank you, Dr. Ikra, Dr. Kulsaurav, and Dr. Afia. You joined really late. We are already running.
Sorry for the same. I
So-
am really sorry
so-
for the same.
I thank you all for joining. Let us meet again, and let us hope to do something regarding this, and we'll definitely work on this.
Yes, definitely. This is a very important issue. And I think besides medical associations looking after this matter, the ministry should itself consider this matter as a, on priority basis, because it's not just the male people who are doing PG, of course, you should consider female. And this is how, on one hand, we are talking about women empowerment. On the other hand, we are just, we are making the female work, and obviously we are putting so much restrictions on her and on her reproductive choice. So I think this matter should be taken up in the ministry itself. Of course, there's a big role of medical associations in this important issue.
Surely. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Never miss a medical update from Medical Dialogues. Like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.